Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Denver Broncos. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
Detroit!
They go play action here on first down. Steps away to his left to Mixon on the check down. And he's able to get up here to the 26. Give him 3 on the play, and it's a second down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it third down at 6. The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down in his play sheet, trying to dial up a big third down play.
They'll look to throw here. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And right away, he lost the football. The Broncos say they have it. They do. Partner, on my spot sheets, I highlighted turnover margins because we remember they turned it over 4 times last week. So another one here in the first quarter. This isn't the way they want to go.
No, not even close. And it's not something they even imagine because the amount of time that we know that they spend in practice talking about what they need to get done, working on it, showing them how to take care of the football, and emphasizing what it means in terms of winning. They get
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 28, and his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Shaquille Barrett in on the tackle.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now on second down, this is Gurley. Space to maneuver at the 40. And finally down at the 32-yard line. Almost unstoppable on the ground there as that one is good for 39.
All right, I've got to be careful here, all right? He's on the plus side of 30. There may be a little gray in the beard, but that's not slowing down his feet as far as he's concerned.
What he's saying, I'm on the plus side of 30.
Well, if you're on the plus side of 30, you don't know what I'm on the plus side of. All I know is that run right there let us know there's still some life in those legs.
Absolutely, still got a lot of life left in those legs. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping Those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Detroit! Detroit!
On 3rd down, they'll run it with Gurley. And he'll be taken down at the 34. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down. Now the Bengals will settle for 3 as the field goal unit comes on here. On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt. And this one is right down the middle. And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. That's caught by Butler over the middle. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 18 yards the gain for number 18. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by M.J. Stewart. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Charles, that makes now 5 interceptions and not even 5 quarters. Remember, he threw 4 picks last week.
And this turns into a tough situation because a lot of fans, the first thing is, oh, well, we need to change quarterbacks. This is your guy. This is your elite player. You can't just take him out like that. If I'm the coach, I make a little joke and say, you know something, big guy? We're going to change the football. So it's obvious that's the problem. It's not you. Keep firing.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone, gone! Gone, gone!
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First catch on that one for Kelce, and it's a first down.
Gone, gone! Gone, gone!
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
Gone, gone! Gone, gone!
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, now look at 56.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Yeah, that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals getting set to go. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Through the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it?
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
They'll look to throw here on first down. He's got his tight end, Jake Butt. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. It's picked up by the Broncos. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. A good pickup there, a 22.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him.
Green, 39.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And here's another interception, the third of this first quarter. Picked off at the 17.
And as a defender, if you come up with 2 interceptions in a game, that's pretty rare in the NFL. You might see one guy a weekend do that, but to have 2 in the first quarter, that's something you don't see all that often. I have a feeling they'll think twice about throwing in his direction too often.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll start out on the ground with Gurley. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Eluding and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Anthony Barr leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Now back to throw. And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Picked up by M.J. Stewart.
Well, from what we've seen thus far, this is not a formula for winning football. When you have more turnovers than points scored, that's a tough way to try and win a game.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Dumps it off to Mixon. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. On play action, they'll throw. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there and gets the good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Out of the gun now on third down. And that is incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. It's complete. This is Todd Gurley. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 23 yards on the play. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw now on 1st down. Flushed out right. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. They'll throw underneath for Gurley. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a 2nd down. They'll look to throw. And they'll set up the screen to Gurley. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Todd Gurley, his first touchdown of the new season, and the Bengals add on to their lead. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Hey, you're so right, because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you've got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, whoever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. He'll drop to throw. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. Even with the nice move, can't go very far. Stop short of the 30. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and they're going to face a third down.
Gun!
Back to throw here. Forced out to his left. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
It's a net of 40 there, a punt of 48, and a return of 8. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And some room to roam now. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down. Nothing fancy there, a little smash-mouth football right up the gut on the dive, and it turns into a huge play.
You talk about the fastest way to the secondary. Right up the gut as you described, and sprinted into the secondary for a long, long run.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. As his guys are in for 6. And the Bengals are able to grow their lead. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
No one there to help out downfield, but no problem. Scrambling for 22 and a first. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Detroit!
2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to Denver right after this.
Gun!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Escaping the pressure right. And this is incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, He definitely makes up for it in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
And out now, here come the Bengals. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now, and that's why they've opened up this big lead.
You know, we always talk about getting into the zone, and all athletes are seeking that, aren't they? Where everything is working for them, every move they make works, it clicks, and they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. They'll try and start the drive with Gurley. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
That's complete to John Ross. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. A big play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Bengals add on to their lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And coming out now, the Broncos. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive. But they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. A gritty play there. Put his nose down and got his guys a first. Now they got to get to the line quickly.
Offensively, they like their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a first down.
They'll set up a throw. Looking deep downfield. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at second down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down. Here's Marquette King now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. It's a 40-yard punt, but they lose yardage on the return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And you got to think, if this is anything other than just taking a knee, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, they've got enough to talk about at the half. Why do anything else? Just get out of there.
Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. Not even a chance to pitch that one as he's swallowed up in the backfield. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front. Fielded about a yard deep. Oh, twisting away. And he's going to wind up bringing this one inside the 45-yard line.
Now, that's the kind of return that warms the heart of a special teams coach. He'll be pushing us next time, Brandon, to make sure his guys are introduced in the starting lineups. These guys have such an influence on every game. The unsung heroes, remember, they have their own meetings, their own practice time, heck, their own spot on the bench in order to be ready to play each and every week.
The third quarter starts with a run by Gurley. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. The All-Pro Von Miller there on the tackle.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Detroit! Detroit!
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Going deep downfield for Ross. Oh, he almost had it for the pick. A great chance there for the interception in the end zone. Instead, third down. An incomplete pass on 2nd down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw here. Oh, fighting off the defender. Flush to his right. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Gary and Conlon. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. That is now seven interceptions between last week and this week. 3 in this game, 4 a week ago.
And I saw the head coach write on his play sheet, make a little note. I hope he's writing self-scout.
The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. Carl Lawson in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Jordan Evans in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs are going to lead to a 3rd and long. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And instead, they want to throw it off play action. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. Great blocking, nearly sprung him there. 28-yard return, and the Bengals will take over in terrific field position. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting.
And now on the pitch, the ball's loose. The Broncos say they have it. They do.
And this is where you need the quarterback to morph into being a running back. The ball can't be away from his body. It can't be loose. It can't be held like he's going to throw it. Tuck it away. Take care of it because he's going to run through a lot of traffic.
Yeah, and if he doesn't take care of it, we're going to see less design runs like that. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Buying time to his left. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40.
But to me, this leads to the question, do you admire the way he puts his body out there all the time, or do you think he should protect himself a little bit more?
Well, he's been on the ground several times with all those sacks that he's taken. So, I don't know, I kind of admire him not sliding down there, don't you?
I'm with you on that one. The meter definitely leans towards admiration.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however, and let's see what that's about. In the pocket, chucked it away, flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. After the penalty, it's Mixon. And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. Now, that gets back some of what they needed, but they're still stuck here with a 3rd and 13.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with him.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field. And last time, the fumble, the turnover. Now they still have the lead, but I don't think coaches care. The turnovers will bother them no matter what the scoreboard says.
That's the relief, that you still have the lead. But coaches look at what if and what it should be. Turning the ball over when they've got a chance to score more points and increase the lead, that's what's going to affect them.
And they're also thinking to future weeks, maybe when the game's closer, right?
No doubt about it. You want to clean up everything. Let's just be honest about it. They want everything to be perfect at all times. They don't want to give up anything that's going to hurt their team.
9 yards on the first down. Keeper, and it's 2nd and 1.
We talk about setting a tone or beginning a drive. That run was absolutely textbook. I'm telling you, partner, now they're not just thinking about an easy drive. They're thinking about maybe taking it downfield.
Yeah, started at their 2. Now they've got a heavy amount of breathing room. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
He'll get 8 on the keeper there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
And while the guys with the ball are having a whole lot of fun keeping it on the ground, the guys on the opposite side, they are having zero fun. They've been getting pushed around the entire game and haven't found an answer yet to slow down the running game.
Get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. 2 first downs have them up to the 41 now for 1st and 10. First down, and they'll try to run the option left. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down.
And if you're keeping an eye on the box score, that last run puts him over the 100-yard mark for the game. And this defense has just had all sorts of trouble trying to keep him under wraps, both passing and running.
They'll run the option right here on first down. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And avoids the contact by sliding. He'll wind up getting 3 on the keeper there, but it leads to a 3rd down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. But a running game can really benefit your team right now.
This will be the 8th play of the drive, and it's 3rd and inches.
Gone!
They'll drop to throw. And almost intercepted. That would have been his third pick in this game alone. Instead, fourth down.
I'm trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown in. Frankly, that should have been another pick right there. Marvin Lewis going to leave the offense out there. Fourth down, they're going for it. He'll look to throw. Open man, and that's his tight end, Jake Butt. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Jake Butt, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Bengals just continue to pour it on. Extra point splits the uprights, and that will extend this big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Jordan Willis in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
He'll look to throw. Sutton reeling it in on the left side. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On first down, it's Gurley. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Back to throw. That is caught at the 7. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. No gain there as he kept it himself at second down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Todd Gurley, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bengals use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead will swell by 1 more. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11.
And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Welcome back now to Denver. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Detroit! Detroit!
They'll set up to throw. He's going to loft one. Deep left side. He's got him in. Complete. So with a big gainer anyways, they'll go ahead and take that instead of the pass interference call.
They didn't need the penalty. It would have been different, right, if they had somehow lost some yardage somewhere, but they did not. Gained all they could, down to the spot of the foul. Nothing to be gained by taking the penalty.
Now back to throw. He sets to fire deep. And it'll be intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Hey, we got 3 down.
Oh, how about this call down near the goal line? And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
What a game this defense has played. They're pitching a shutout, so it'll be fun to watch down the stretch to see if their defensive coordinator continues to be as aggressive as he's been all game long.
This Bengal defense, they passed the first 2 tests. Now it's 3rd and goal. Nixon trying to punch it in. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Denver. A great play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Broncos use this short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Point after, right down the middle as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. That goes for a gain of 31. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45.
Now let's go.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And Gurley here fumbled it. Gurley fumbles the football. It's loose. The Broncos say they have it. They do.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10.
All right, now lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So, flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. This is the correct call.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. A 6-yard pickup on the ground that time, and that'll make it 3rd and 4 coming up.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
He's going to take a shot for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Looking to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's going to have a 1st down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Gun, gun! Gun, gun!
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Jamal Adams. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Stepping up, he'll try and run. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's 2nd down.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, the risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10, right around the 9-yard line. 3 yards on the keeper, and it's 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Taking it about the 36. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again.
And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Jordan Evans in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. They're going to look to throw. Dumps it off to Mixon. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. It's an 8-yard pickup, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted just twice and have had plenty of opportunities. This is 3rd and 8. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 38. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Von Miller, tough to handle on that blitz. He gets him for a loss of 5. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. He'll drop to throw. And escapes the sack. Being chased out left. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 47. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Back to throw here. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. That's caught inside the 20. A big play there for the Broncos on 3rd. 42 yards. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll set up a throw. Oh, good move. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be third down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability. Yeah,
you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
The Bengals getting set to go. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Justin Simmons. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket. And he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a third down. They had the incomplete pass on second down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down. Definitely desperation time. This just looks like, hey, throw it down there, hope that your guy can make a play.
You want him to make a play, but if not, maybe you get a pass interference call. And you know in the NFL, that's a spot foul. You get all of that yardage. That would be a big play.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he loses the football a second time. The Broncos say they have it. They do. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone. Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh.